Well, I'm out here working on my new-to-me lathe, Tormach 15L Slant Pro. So far, I'm really liking this lathe. Anyway, I took the chuck off because the spindle bore is 1.5 inches, and I need to make a bunch of washers out of this, and this is 1 3/8. I think it's actually 1.4 or something, but it should still fit in the spindle bore. I can't come at it from the other side because the parts that are on there aren't that big. Okay, I know this goes down in through the chuck without any problem, but it bottoms out here, and it would be nice to put this all the way in so that it's a bit more tedious. But if I load it up like this and the chuck comes out to here and grabs it, okay, I can make 10 or so washers, but I got a lot of stick out here, and I'm worried about that. Well, then I have to move this out to grab it by 1 inch and then do it again. But what I'm thinking is if I get this out and this fits in there, I can pull it out of the chuck, let's say 2 inches. Then I can do it again to 2 inches and repeat it, and do it again to 2 inches and repeat it, and do it again. And it'll make it so much easier on the programming instead of having it stick out 3.5 to start with and then 2.5. Anyway, but the challenge is this sleeve is in a taper, so I gotta bump it from the backside. I tried it with a piece of thin wall aluminum tubing, and that just didn't cut it. So there we go. That didn't take much at all, and I just used a piece of rod I had laying around here. That's basically what it looks like. I have another one that came with the machine that said it's slightly damaged. No clue what that means, but the pin is missing, and that pin is what the collet locks in on, so you slide it in, that way the collet doesn't spin. You tighten it up from the other end with the threaded tube that goes through. So I have the collet closer removed. I don't have any collets right now, so there's also no point in having this in here. But let's see. Oh, well, it definitely goes in further. It's close. Real close. Well, I tried shoving that in there, and there's an initial lip, and then when you try to go past that, it gets really tight. And this is supposed to be 1 3/8, okay, but they oversize it so you can cut it down or whatever. So if I go by where it hit on the marks there or whatever, this is actually 1.46, so that's supposed to be a 1.5 inch bore, spindle bore. Well, I'm being shorted there by a good 40 thousandths. That makes the difference here. But at the very least, instead of it stopping here, I can get it in there. Even if I just stop at the lip there, it's about a 3/8 of an inch difference. But considering from there, I'm actually getting a lot more stock there inside. And that's about the thickness of the chuck. So I could still add another 3 inches out here, 2 inches, whatever. I'll put the chuck back on and I'll do this again. And then I'll be able to do, like I said, I'll be able to just pull it out a little bit, run it through a cycle, pull it out a little more, run it through a cycle, pull it out a little more, and I'll be able to process a longer piece more consistently. So I think that was, I think it's going to be worthwhile having pulled that out. And the reality is I could go put this on the manual lathe. Even the big piece, because I'm pretty sure it'll go through on my 13 by 40. I could skim off another 50 thousandths and see whether it goes through there. Thing is a piece that long, processing that's long enough. Do I really want to add a whole other process on the manual lathe just to do this, when all I really have to do is bandsaw cut it down, and then I'll be able to take it down to this much stock. I'll waste a little bit more, but having 3 longer pieces to process as opposed to 4 shorter pieces means that I'm only going to have 3 pieces of waste instead of 4. And these are little, like roughly 150 thou thick washers. I need about 200 of them. Alright, so that's about where it went to before. Ho ho ho! Oh, shit. Come on. There we go. Sheesh. So there's that lip, and if I want, I could go in a little further. I could go to there. Went right in past that lip because the jaws were close enough that they kept it aligned. I'm just going to call that good. I'm about an inch behind the face, so I could do 2 inches. 2.5's probably still going to be plenty of, still be plenty rigid. That puts it out so I can add another 3.5 inches to the material. So I got 3 pieces there. It was going to only be 8 inches. I decided to go 4 inches because one, it will, you know, I can shove it in some of it. I decided instead of going just to the lip there, just to keep the numbers even, I could make each one 11.5. I guess it doesn't really matter, except that then if I get a 3-foot piece, a 2-foot piece, 4-foot piece, and I'm cutting them to 11.5, I'm just begging, you know, I'm just adding up the amount of waste I'm going to have on the ends there. So if I make them 1 foot, granted I've already cut 8 inches off here, and there's roughly 4 inches left here. Oh, this was a 5-foot piece that already had some cut off the end, that's right. So, you know, if I ordered another 5-foot piece, this is from MSC, if I ordered another 5-foot piece, then I could easily cut it into, you know, actual 5 pieces. Once I get 200 washers, that's 50 sets of the bushings. I'm not sure I've sold that many to date, so I'm going to have a ton just sitting around waiting. I think I actually have sold that many. Whether or not I sell that many more, who knows. I've already cut the other ones because I forgot the camera wasn't running. So it's certainly a piece of cake to get the burrs out of the center. A little bit bigger pain to try to get it off the outside.